Hi there, I'm Ember, one of the directors of the North Country Comic Con. We started this show to give you a little taste of some of the amazing things coming to Watertown, New York this summer. Recently, I sat down with Jennifer Robin of Jen's Monster Makeup to discuss some of what she does and how she goes about it. You do a lot of horror special effects makeup, monster makeup, prosthetics, all kinds of things like that. How did you get started doing that?
It was completely an accident. I was in a hobby store with my mom, and I looked over and I saw a amigurumi crochet kit for making Star Wars characters. Now, you have to understand that I can't crochet. I can't crochet to save my life, but I looked at those little stuffed Jabba the Hutt and Jawas and was like, my life will not be complete until I can do this. And so mom got it for me for Christmas. And so I started making those, and I'm actually fairly decent at it. And then a friend of mine said to me, do you think you could do a Michael Myers? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that started me on the path to making crochet, horror-themed crochet dolls. And I was at a craft show, it was actually Creepy Christmas. And the owners of a local haunt came by. Where I boarded my horse, I was friends with some of them, and they owned a haunt, again, 6 degrees of separation.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, hey, would you like to set up a booth it's a home haunt, at our home haunt? And when I'm watching this whole haunt thing, I had no interest in haunts. I don't do haunts. Just not my thing. But I am a process person. And what I looked is there seemed to be a bottleneck in their setup process around makeup. And I was like, I'll help out with that. And so my big ambition was to do skulls and maybe a witch, and if I really stretched myself, a clown. And I guess the rest is kind of history. It just snowballed from there. So I just started doing some of that makeup at that haunt, and then I got connected with our disaster drill group to say if there was one thing that is my true love, it is the trauma makeup for the disaster drills, because that's a real service to people, and our first responders genuinely, truly appreciate the work that we do. And I just love it. And so then through the trauma makeup, that's when I got associated with another haunt, a pro haunt. And now I lead the creative team at the pro haunt now, I think 5 years later. Again, and through little offshoots of that, that's how I met you, working on small films. As you know, I love the small film, the independent film, the micro budget film, because they're passion projects. And I love being able to lend any experience or skill that I have to help elevate those projects, just to help, because it's just one of the most exciting things, I think, in the 21st century is there are so many more opportunities for creatives, from people who can self-publish their horror short stories, from people who can create videos on YouTube, as we were talking about, any of the creatives in social media, folks like yourself who can make films, pretty ambitious films. It's amazing to me what creatively can be done these days with our modern technology.
Hell yeah. Our capabilities are growing exponentially. It makes me really excited for what's coming in the future.
Oh, absolutely.
We got up to the present. What drives you? What motivates you? What keeps the fires of hell burning, if you will?
Trying to master a new thing. Or one of the things I have always loved to do creatively is to help other people's visions become a reality. One of the most rewarding things is working with an actor who has an idea. They may not be artistic, they can perform, they can act, but the visual arts might not be their thing. And sitting there and talking to them and working through the techniques, the processes, and coming up with a character with them is always rewarding. It can be very challenging. And there's always the fear of what if I let them down? But I think it's at the heart of it, I would say it's the design and technical challenge that comes with haunt work or working with horror. There's just, it's MacGyvering everything. It's also helped me to grow as an artist in ways that I never expected. I am formally trained. I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts from Syracuse University, and I've always been very uptight. Shocker, I know. And meaning I have to use the right tool, the right medium, the right way, very stingy. It's just got to be just so. Mm-hmm. Well, you can't do that in a haunt environment. You really can't. Now I'm like, hand me dirt and a stick and I'll make you look like something. And especially when we get about halfway through the season, I'll say, hey, we've got a local celebrity coming and they want to be a melty zombie. And I've got 5 minutes to make that happen. And if I want to be successful at it, then that's what I have to do. So I think at the heart of it, yep, one of the most fundamental, it's the design and technical challenge. There's always something new. There's always something fresh. There's a lot. It's not boring by any means.
Yeah. Tons of adventure. So last year at Nococon, you created a new monster person throughout the course of each day. On both Saturday and Sunday, you started with a human, and sometime in the early to mid-afternoon, we wound up with a monster wandering around the floor. And so people could stop by and see the process as it went on and things like that. This year, what sort of things do you have in mind for that?
What I'm actually interested is doing a creativity workshop. And what I would like to do is, the approach is very simple, is to have a table and have a bunch of household items, things that you can find in your kitchen, things that you can find in the bathroom, such as toilet paper, Q-tips, red food coloring, oatmeal, coffee grounds, the Elmer's glue, and just put those out on a table. And then have pictures of various, the easiest thing to do is gore, so lacerations, bullet, gunshot wounds, etc. And then have a participant come sit down, and I'll say, pick one. And then how would you use the items on this table to make that effect? And the idea is not to have them have the greatest effect at the end. The idea is the thought process. Because one of the things I found to be successful in the haunt environment and in the film environment is that creative thinking. It really doesn't matter what material you use. It really doesn't matter how you do it. It's the thinking. It's sometimes you've just got to make that effect with what you've got on hand. One of my very first training videos that I worked on, they asked me, well, okay, this all looks really great. Can you do an avulsion? I didn't know what that was, and I was not prepared for it. And so I was like, all right, yep, I can do that. And I turned around, and the guy panicked a little bit. He's like, well, where are you going? I said, I'm going to the bathroom. And I went into the bathroom. I grabbed some toilet paper. I always have latex. Never leave home without latex or fake blood. Just don't. And in 5 minutes, I mean, the time it took the latex to dry, I had a training film ready avulsion. And that's what you have to be able to do. So that's the point of the workshop, is really that how can I get to where I need to be as quickly as possible with what I have on hand? And I also want to show people that it's so doable. My whole life, I've had people say to me, I wish I could do that. And it's always around something artistic or something crafty. And I'm like, then just do it. You don't have to be famous. events. You don't have to end up in a museum. You don't have to end up on the red carpet. Just do it for the sake of doing it. And that's one of the things that I want people to see is you don't have to spend a lot of money. You can, raid your mom's makeup drawer. Don't tell her I said that. And you can do some very realistic and very, very astonishing work just with what you have on hand. I like attending events such as yours because I want people to feel inspired. I want people to look at what I'm doing, say, wow, I really wish I could do that. And then I can say, well, what would you like to do? And I can give them ideas or help them think through how they could get started. And that's really exciting for me. And I really like helping other people design and make haunt stuff. And so that's what I would like to accomplish with this workshop. And it's just going to be just a table. People can come. It's not formal. Spend 5 minutes, spend the day. It's just, I want people to get hands-on and feel inspired. They can go home and do something.
Alrighty, Jen. Well, thank you for joining us today, and we're looking forward to catching you this June in Watertown.
Yes, I'm very much looking forward to it. It's one of the highlights of my year.
Thank you all so much for watching. Please take a moment to hit that subscribe button because we have many other interviews with other guests and featured creators coming up in the weeks ahead as we count down to the opening of Nococon 2023. Tickets are now on sale, so be sure to pick yours up early, and we'll see you this June.